Okay. Peace and blessings to everyone on this live today on this fine Sunday day. And I want to have a conversation with you guys about spiritual warfare. Um, it's something that I think that will be beneficial to a lot of you guys because there's a lot going on right now. And I feel the need to educate everyone that's currently listening to this live and those who choose to listen afterwards. This live is going to also be uploaded to YouTube. If you're hearing this live on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and also hit the like button. I would greatly appreciate it. Spread it around, get the word out to people, because this is one serious live that I don't think anybody should be sleeping on. It's very serious. So I first want to start off, and there's going to be some things I'm going to bring about of even personal experiences that I've had. Um, so that kind of gives you some idea about my experience levels and things of that nature. I want to first say, I've been a priest for 25 years, and I've learned a lot about possession. I've learned a lot about spirit infiltration, spiritual attachments, from the minor things to the heaviest of things. And believe me, this shit can get super heavy. And also the energy that's being utilized in spiritual warfare, what the purposes of the energies are, and what the purposes of what the energies do. Okay. So first and foremost, I want to say that spiritual warfare can take place in many different forms. Okay. Spiritual warfare can ignite just by a person's thoughts. You can think negatively about someone or put a curse on someone by you just simply speaking out loud negative words against that individual. Now, what you've done is you've now created spiritual warfare. And now that you create spiritual warfare, you also created karma for yourself by doing so. Something so subtle as that, where you're like, well, Isis, I didn't actually do it. Yeah, but your intent is what's giving you the karma. It's your intent. It's what's coming from your heart. Let me start there. So if you have ill thoughts towards someone and you send out ill messages on that person, speak death over that person, any of those types of things, you are engaging in what we call spiritual warfare. Energy is energy. It does not die. It transforms and it has to travel to the intended target that you sent it to. Now, whether or not that target is going to go down and fall or not, because you put out a command, depends on whether or not they have strong protection. Okay. So if that person has some strong protection, such as their ancestors or whatever forces they're working with, then that energy is just going to turn around and circle itself back around to you, which is going to happen anyway. It just may take a little bit longer. But if you have protection, it'll immediately return back to you. Because the protection does what we call return to sender. You want to send evil intent out on someone? Well, we're going to send that shit back to you tenfold. Let's see how you like that. Next thing you know, you're having all types of negative shit going on in your life. The same thing that you wish on that person is now happening to you. And you don't understand why it's happening to you because you're not super aware. You're not aware that the intent that you sent down on an individual, you're suffering from it. Lack of self-awareness. So you can easily start spiritual warfare just by thoughts. Speaking negatively on someone, that is spiritual warfare. Because you're attacking this person through your mouth. That's spiritual warfare. Depending on who you are, determines if there's going to be spiritual warfare, if there's going to be spiritual forces that's going to act on your behalf to bring about the intent of what you sent out there. If a person is very angry and they sent out an intent for that person to have harm caused to them, that is a form of witchcraft. That is a form of spiritual warfare. Working someone where you're constantly speaking death on them or speaking for a person's downfall, that is witchcraft. That is a form of spiritual warfare. Giving somebody the evil eye is definitely a form of witchcraft and spiritual warfare. Okay? And this is not to be taken lightly, because you don't know who's with that individual and what kind of forces are protecting that individual, or what type of forces are willing to act on that person's command, depending on who this person really is. You can literally speak death into a person. That's only going to work if that person don't have the protection around them to protect the individual. Okay? Now, that's one form of spiritual warfare and witchcraft. Another form is when you are dealing with spiritual entities. Okay? When you're dealing with whomever or whatever you're working with. Some people like to work with the dead, the damned, if you will. They like to conjure up the damned and send those individuals out to cause harm. Some people are engaged in spiritual warfare just because of the simple fact that they are supposed to be tested about the lessons that they did not learn or that they thought that they had learned. Spiritual warfare is involved. If you find yourself more in your ego, then you are showing humility. 9 times out of 10, you're probably dealing with some energy. Unless you're a narcissist, of course, that's something a little bit different. But let's just say you're not a narcissist. Let's just say you're just, who you are. When an entity can utilize dark energy to block you, can take control of you, and will move against your free will. Those who are practicing in the dark arts that are utilizing this shit for them to get some type of gain or some type of come up. Let me explain to you how this works. If you are impending on someone, even if you're not causing them harm, if you are impending on someone's free will, you are going to have serious karma to answer to in this lifetime and probably the next. What do I mean by that? Let me give an example of individuals utilizing this type of energy for their own personal gain. I had a young lady tell me that she did witchcraft to get a man that she liked, to pull that man away from a young woman who also did the same thing as well. She did the same thing to get the guy, then somebody else came along and did witchcraft to get the guy for themselves, and that person ended up getting the guy. The girl who originally did the witchcraft did not. Now, the girl who stepped in to do the exact same thing, now the shit's happening to her by the girl who she stole the man from. That's karma. That's karma that she's dealing with right now. Okay? What neither one of these ladies observed was the fact that they moved against the free will of the guy that they were trying to get a hold of. They didn't realize that they were infringing upon his free will, and now they both have karma to deal with in this lifetime and probably the next. It just depends on the individual and where they're at in their growth and how much regret that they have for making the moves due to things that they weren't aware of. And it also depends on the Most High as to whether or not he's going to let you slide or clear that up for you. That depends. That type of karma has to be cleared up in this lifetime. Some of that karma you can't clear up in this lifetime. You're going to have to deal with in the next. When you decide that you are going to move against an individual, I want you to be clear about the consequences that come with that, because there are consequences. You may not be facing it right now, or it'll come back around and mess one of your family members up. And I've seen that happen many a times. It may not get to you because you may have certain protections up where it don't get to you, but then it jumps on your family or it jumps on a friend of yours that you didn't know anything about. It'll jump on your children or jump on the children of some of your relatives that you didn't know anything about. See, that energy has to go somewhere. Somebody's got to pay the piper for this shit. So don't think for a second that because you're skilled at certain things, that energy is going to come back around and bite you in the ass. It's going to bite you in the ass one way or another. I've seen a woman that was so hell-bent on destruction and destroying somebody so bad that this woman was losing the warfare just because the person chose not to fight them. And they put a certain type of protection up to where they could not, no matter what this person did, this person could not be touched. So every time the person threw, and this person threw for 3 straight months. So imagine you being so angry with the person and have so much hate in the person's heart, or you got paid to do a job to fuck somebody up, and you know damn well that that person doesn't even deserve that. You know this already, but you don't care because you care about the dollar. So, and you've never won, and you never lost a battle before. So next thing you know, you're in this thing and you're trying to attack this person, attack this person, attack this person. And for some reason, you're trying to figure out why you're not being able to be successful. But meanwhile, your grandkids and your children are getting fucked up by that witchcraft that you sent out. And next thing you know, you find out that your children are in the hospital, your grandchildren are in the hospital dying because of all the evil intent that you sent out on somebody who didn't deserve it. And so it came back around and hit your family members. And basically you killed your family members by doing dumbass shit because you didn't know any better. You made your relatives sick. You gave them cancer or whatever else they're coming down with because you couldn't see past your own hate and your own emotions, how that was leading it back to you. It may not be affecting you directly, but it is an extension of you. It's still you. If it's hitting your family members, you're still going to take that L. You're going to take the L. One way or another, you're going to take that L. Now, when it comes to spiritual warfare, when you're dealing with entities. So let me give an example of an entity right now that is currently going around testing a lot of people. And this particular fallen angel is very cunning at what he does, and one of the best to ever do it. I'm not talking about just Satan either, because you have a lot of fallen angels. But this is one of the 7 fallen archangels, one of the princes of hell, that is extremely powerful. Extremely powerful. And he has the ability to cloak himself to be something that he's not. He has the ability to have you thinking that you're talking to an ancestor, and you're not talking to an ancestor, you're talking to him. So let me give you some examples in my own personal life experience that I've dealt with dealing with this entity. Because I want to drive it home so you're clear that I know what the hell I'm talking about, because I've been there, done that, got the damn t-shirt. This entity has the ability to imitate the Most High. You're thinking to yourself, how the hell are you able to do that and get away with it? Because the Most High allowed it to happen. Y'all need to go read them scriptures about how when Satan came and said that he wanted to test Job, because he did not believe that Job had that much faith in the Most High. So the Most High said, okay, he said, I'm going to prove to you that these humans ain't shit, that they will turn on you at the blink of an eye. They will turn on you, and they will turn on the people that they love at the blink of an eye, because I see the weaknesses in humans. I see what they have not been healed from. And this angel is very good at really showing you what you didn't heal from to other people that are wise enough and spiritually intelligent enough to recognize. So let me break this down for you. Those who haven't healed, those who haven't done their shadow work, you're going to be easily deceived because you haven't healed from nothing. You felt like you didn't have to do this work. You thought the shit that I was saying to you was a joke. Okay, so let me give you some hints. One of the first things that starts happening is that this energy that this being works with, he's working with dark energy. And I'm not saying the dark energy is a bad thing, so I want you to be clear, because even neutral beings with benevolent tendencies work with dark energy to get things accomplished. So I want you to be clear about what I'm saying here. There must be spiritual intelligence when I'm saying these things, and emotional intelligence when I'm saying these things to you. Listen clearly. Whatever your intent is with dark energy, that's exactly what you're going to manifest, and it works much faster, and the energy is much more stronger. Okay? However, if you're utilizing this energy for the wrong intent, it can split you. It can literally split your soul in half, and you're not even realizing that's what happened. This particular angel, what he does is he begins to start putting negative thoughts in your head. So if any of you have been experiencing negative thoughts in your head, I want you to pay attention and tell me if those negative thoughts are your thoughts. You need to be self-aware enough to know if these thoughts are your thoughts, or are they somebody else's thoughts? Where did that come from? Out the blue, you got these negative thoughts. Fuck such and such and such and such. That motherfucker, this, that, and the third, blah, 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 anyway. Oh, this person that did this. Oh, this person is this. This person is that. Oh, this person doesn't want you to succeed. You won't grow. Oh, you need to leave this person because you're better than that. Or you're better than them. Or they don't know what they're doing. Or this person doesn't have your best interests at heart. But what did the person show you prior to these thoughts starting to enter into your mind? See, that's the part that y'all forget, because you're tuned to negativity because you haven't done your shadow work and you're still living in your damn trauma, and you don't want to admit that this is what's happening to you, or you may not be self-aware that this is what's happening with you. So you tend to gravitate more towards the negative frequency. So when somebody's telling you something negative, because they're used to operating in a negative space, it's very easy to manipulate you. It don't take long. Regular humans do it to regular humans all the time. But it's a whole different ballgame when it's in spiritual warfare. Because see, the energy is so cunning and so subtle that you would never know that this is what's happening to you, because you don't know what to look for. So I'm telling you what to look for. You start having negative thoughts out of nowhere about people that's been good to you, you better be paying attention to where those thoughts are coming from. Let me tell you how you beat this shit. Because it's going to start there. That's where the infiltration is going to start. It's going to start there. Negative thoughts. The first thing you need to do is you need to examine, are these even my thoughts? Where the fuck is this shit coming from? You need to recognize it there first. Once you're able to recognize that these aren't your thoughts, this shit just came out of nowhere, then this is what you do. You say, aha! I recognize these evil ass thoughts, and these are definitely not my thoughts. I don't feel that way, and I don't think that way. So I'm acknowledging you, and now I'm going to accept it. That's how you beat it. That's how you beat him at his own game. It's about you coming to acceptance of the darker sides of who you are. Okay? See, the problem is many people like to run away from the darker sides of who they are because they'd rather project this image of false shit, that they don't have a dark side. Oh, yes, you do have a dark side. Everybody has a dark side. And this entity will bring this shit out of you. If you start to see yourself going backwards, in other words, shit that you've healed from, that you know you've healed from. And all of a sudden, you start to see yourself going backwards, making decisions to go backwards, making decisions to go back to doing what you used to do. That's a clear sign that you are being affected by spiritual warfare. Everything starts unraveling. You're like, what the hell is going on? I beat this already. I dealt with this already. I healed from this already. Why is this shit coming back up again? Then it starts to make you re-question as to whether or not you healed from the situation. You start asking yourself questions like, damn, didn't I heal from this? Maybe you didn't. Maybe it's to show you that you still got more shadow work to do. Because I'm going to tell you something I've learned. There are evil, malevolent forces out there that do exist, but what I am learning now is that a lot of this shit has a lot to do with where you are in your mind state. A lot of this has a lot to do with the fact that we are going into the age of Aquarius, and a lot of you still have not taken the time out to heal. So let me tell you what this dark energy does. If you don't catch this shit, if you don't catch the fact that you're going backwards, if you don't catch the fact that your thoughts are being infiltrated, if you don't catch this shit, here's what starts happening. Now you come out of your divine feminine, you're no longer feeling, and then you go into your divine masculine, and now you're logically thinking. Now you start to get into your ego because nobody can tell you shit. Nobody can challenge you because the thoughts then bigged your head up to make you think that you're more than what you really are. So they'll use beings that you trust to come to you and gas your head up and tell you things in your head that's not true about the person who has been showing you love. The dead giveaway is the division. If you are working with a team and you start to have ill feelings towards your team members without any logical explanation behind that, and then you decide that you don't want to communicate to the person because of how you're feeling, you've been infiltrated. Because the dark energy, let me tell you what it does. It wants you to fester your thoughts and your feelings toward that one particular person. What this energy does is it removes out of your life that which is there to help you and replaces you with an energy that is there to pull you down and make you go backwards. Some of you guys are making strides to move forward to do different things. But then you let shit get to your fucking head. Next thing you know, every decision you're making, you don't realize that you're going backwards. You actually think that you're going forward. And because you're in your ego, nobody can tell you nothing. And let me tell you what else this damn energy does. It hypnotizes you. For those of you on the other side, to the healers on the other side, have you ever been in a situation where you're trying to communicate to a person and you can clearly see that something's going on with this individual? And when you try to talk to this individual, the person cannot hear anything that you're saying. They're not interested in hearing anything that you have to say. They can't hear you. And then the dark energy, what it does is it makes them justified in their actions. But see, here's what happens. They don't want to face you. They don't want to look at you in your fucking eyes. They want to run like a fucking coward. Let me explain to you what that is. The dark energy doesn't make you act like a coward. What it does is it brings out that which is already within you out. What do I mean by that? It means that you already had cowardly tendencies within you in the first damn place. And what it does is it exposes you for who you really are to everybody that's around you, and you don't realize that this is what's happening. You're thinking that everything is okay. Meanwhile, you are looking crazy than a motherfucker to everybody around you. When you start hearing people around you, outside of you, saying to you, there's something going on with your energy, it is your job, and that's your cue to be self-aware enough to know that something is not right. But see, the ego will have you thinking that everything that you do is right. The dark energy will make you feel like you're justified in your actions, and it will not allow you to communicate to the people that you should be communicating to. You're being played like a fucking violin out here. Until you lose every fucking thing that you thought that you had, you will lose everything. And when you do come out of this shit, it could take up to a year before you come up out of this shit. And when you come up out of it, You're going to realize all the damage that you've caused that's damn near irreparable. You will not be dealing with the people that you want that once looked out for you because you didn't cause so much fucking damage to that individual. They don't want to fuck with you no more. You're going to wake up one day and you're going to feel all alone and you're not going to know what you did to cause that to happen. Well, it's more like what you didn't do to cause it to happen. What you didn't do was your damn shadow work like you were supposed to. Because if you did your shadow work, you would have been stable enough in your mind to be able to recognize when you're being deceived. These entities have the ability to appear as anyone that they see fit. They can come as your great grandmama. They can come as your uncle, whoever your favorite people are that you like to work with. They will come as that and give you false light information. The giveaway here is whenever they start speaking negatively about the people that you fuck with, thinking that they're giving you a ones up. Meanwhile, you should never had that fucking intention in your heart to begin with. Who the fuck walks around with intentions in their heart, waiting for the boogeyman to show up with the people that are showing them love, waiting for the goddamn boogeyman to show up, and as soon as an entity that you think you love and respect tells you something negative, here your motherfucking ass go. I believe that shit. I believe, even though this person showed me this, I believe that shit. There's got to be something wrong because I'm not used to having good things going on in my life. I'm used to fuckery anyway. So because I'm used to this fucked up ass programming, I'm still going to start look for it within the other people that I deal with. And in all actuality, you're looking for it within yourself because whoever's in your life is what you fucking attracted. So that is you looking for the devil in you. See, a person knows when they're not doing right. That's why they won't face you when they're doing wrong. They won't speak to you. They will do everything in their power not to talk to you. They'll tell everybody around you that they won't talk to you, that they're completely resolved, that they're healed, that then they're lying to themselves. This energy isolates you from the people that you love. So if you feel isolated, you need to start reflecting on your actions and what you then did to get there. If you quit your job to become an entrepreneur, then you turn around and you go back to working a 9 to 5, you went backwards. An obvious sign that something's not right. When you're dealing with benevolent entities, they're never going to come to you and tell you anything negative about the people that look out for you. That is not the way this shit works. And they're definitely not going to tell you to separate from those individuals. That's not the way that shit works. If this has happened to you, you better get your ass to a river, get your ass to an ocean, and you better take a whole lot of baths, get yourself with a priest, get your ass cleaned off, do something before you fuck your whole life up and set yourself back another year or two for the dumbass decisions that you're making because you're not self-aware about the spiritual warfare. Because everybody's being tested right now. And I know for a fact there's quite a few of you on this channel that's going backwards right now, even as we speak, because you are being tested by this angel. I'm letting you know this right now. You are being tested by this angel. And this angel is here to cause havoc in your life. And he's also there to bring you over to the other side. Depression episodes, bouts of depression, making you feel like you're in despair, making you feel hopeless, making you think that the whole world is against you and you're right about everything and everybody else is wrong. No, actually, you're not correct. You need to get yourself cleared off and you need to get back to working on yourself and get back to healing. You got to have enough humility for yourself to be able to do that. But see, if you're not self-aware that these things can happen to you because you've been on the other side of everything that's been so good, not realizing that you've been getting played for the last 6 months. You've been getting played for the last 6 months. When your skill set starts switching up on you and telling you different stories from different beings, 1 minute is this story, the next minute is this story, the next minute is this story. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't even recognize my own energy anymore. That is a sign that you are being either possessed or spiritually attached. It doesn't matter who the fuck you are. I don't care what kind of skill sets you think you got. I don't give a shit. What I care about is you making sure that you are equipped to deal with the shit that you're dealing with. For those of you who are constantly in them rounds, let me go ahead and put you up on game about something, baby. It's too easily to be deceived in those rounds when you're not properly grounded and centered. You could be thinking you're talking to this and that and the third and this, that, and the third, and your ass is talking to a whole goddamn reptilian who's a shapeshifter that has the ability to act like any god that they want, and you would not know the difference. You would not know the difference. You would if you had some type of foundation, but if you ain't got a strong foundation, you're going to be deceived. That's why the grounding process is so serious. That's why you must go through that process of grounding and getting yourself recentered. Your grounding starts with the ancestors. That is your first line of defense, your first line of protection before you deal with anything in the 5D and above realm. Before you deal with anything of the sort, you better have a very strong relationship with your ancestors. If you are a part of the Orisha tradition, those are also your ancestors. You better be getting very strong with them and very tight with them during this time period. I'm telling you this right now. You better find out who the gods are in your bloodline, and you better get strong with your bloodline. I'm telling you this right now, because there's a lot of deception that's going on amongst a lot of people, and you don't have the ability to be able to discern because you lack self-awareness. And this is just one entity that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the various other entities out here that can get your head twisted up. ETs have the ability, or the best deceivers, to do that shit. ETs are the best ones to do that shit. And yes, angelics are also considered to be extraterrestrials. That's the reason why the fallen ones can be able to do the things that they do. You come across any kind of, look, them, they can do it. The Greys can do it. The damn reptilians do it all the time. Pretend themselves to be gods and goddesses, and they not. And this entity, what he'll do is, you're going to have so much of this nasty dark energy on you. You don't want to go take a spiritual bath, but you're going to tell everybody else you out here doing it. But you ain't doing it, nigga. Because if you was doing it, then you would know. You would see the difference in the energy. You're not doing it. Next thing you know, you start getting into lies and half-truths and gossiping about the people and all kinds of crazy shit, because that's the way that entity operates. It does not want you to have anything good because it hates humanity. It hates humanity because the Creator has given us something that he does not have, which is the ability to create and the choice of free will. It hates us to the core. He has not been grateful for the position that he was given, which was a very high position in the angelic realm. He was ungrateful. So now he has been given permission to test us. And let me tell you something. The testing started 6 months ago. I told y'all we were being tested. I warned y'all we are being tested. Some of you guys listened, some of you guys didn't. It would behoove you to get with your ancestors, to get into meditation, finding out if there's any ancestors that do know anything about the healing arts, such as hoodoo, because hoodoo can be utilized to heal. Voodoo can also be utilized to heal. Ifa is definitely utilized to heal. And let me get a few things cleared out for y'all, because y'all be getting this shit confused, be getting other people's shit confused with other shit. And I got to go ahead and school y'all about some things. As a priest, when you work with a Orisha, or you work with a Loa, or whatever beings that you are working with, it is a system designed for progression and healing. That doesn't mean that that priest also does not have the skill set of witchcraft. But do not confuse witchcraft with any of these traditions, because if you studied it, then you would know that's not what it's about. I can't go to Shango tell my, hey, dad, check this out. I want to fuck this person up over here. I'm going to get my ass beat. Do you hear me? I'm going to get my ass beat at the thought of, the audacity of coming to him on that level. Now, don't lie to these Orisha and say, oh, this person's doing this, or lie to these Loas and find out this person's doing this. See, when you come across a real skilled priest, I'm gonna talk to whatever it is you sent to me. I'm gonna have a conversation with that nigga right there. And then I'm going to show him what really happened. And then once that, whatever that was sent my way, finds out that they have been deceived by you, oh, I feel sorry for you on the punishment that's going to come down on your head. You can't play that game with everybody out here, because you don't know what that priest knows and how skilled they are. You send some shit my way, you can best believe that whatever's being sent my way, we're going to have a conversation, a real conversation. Then that being is going to see that you're an insecure, jealous fuck. And then it's going to teach you a lesson about that, so you can grow up out of that bullshit. You are not the judge, the jury, and the executioner of nothing. That responsibility belongs to the Most High. Make sure you're clear. So for you fuckers out here running around wanting to get revenge and justice on people and shit like that, you're going to get your ass handed to you, because that's not your job to do. Your job is to keep your protections up and continue to operate in love, period. If you stay in that space and only in that space, you will be protected. You step out of that space, you're gonna fall down into the same levels as that being, and your protection is gonna come down, and you're gonna get your ass beat because you opened yourself up to the warfare, and you thought you could handle it, and you can't. This shit ain't nothing to play with out here. I can't stress this enough. Y'all think this shit is a game? Some of y'all asking me questions about, can you do Orisha work? You're going to get your ass handed to you. Because number one, you got to be initiated. And if the Orisha don't claim you or recognize you as one of their own, it's a wrap. How you going to get into doing some work when you ain't been properly trained? There's a reason why protocols are in place. There's a reason why you have elders in place to teach you the correct things, so you don't go out here and kill your damn self or kill somebody else with your damn stupidity. Y'all want to be so unruly and think this shit is fun and games till you get your ass beat. It's all cute till you get your ass beat, your ass go to jail, or somebody that you know or that you love dies. Then the shit gets real for y'all then. Or your ass is getting fucked up out here. You got one thing happen after the other, after the other, after the other, and you don't know why this is happening. See, them games was cute when you was fucking somebody else up, but what happens when that shit comes back around and whips your ass? Because you already know that when it comes back around, it's going to be 10 times worse than what you dished out. Are you ready for that? because it's going to come back around. You're not going to escape your karma. Nobody can. It's going to come back around and bite you in the ass, whether it does it right now at this time, or it happens down the road when you're not paying attention, or it happens in a way that you're not self-aware, where one of your children gets killed. You're not self-aware that the reason why this happened is because of that shit you did to somebody else, came back and hit that child, and that child got hit with some other shit. You did that. And you got blood on your hands for doing it. Karma than the motherfucker for your actions. If you're not going to utilize your energy for healing, then don't utilize the energy. That's my advice to you. You do what you want to do. You do what you want to do. You have free will. But just understand there are consequences to every action that you take. See, karma is created by action, whether it's positive karma or negative karma. It will manifest itself through your actions. In some cases, non-action. If you guys have been experiencing anything that I've been talking about, you better get your ass to a river or to an ocean and get your ass cleaned off. Bring some offerings to the river, bring some offerings to the ocean. And ask the great mothers to assist you in cleaning you off, and come to them with humility. Offering of fruits, honey. Make sure you taste the honey first before you give it to Oshun, so she doesn't know you're trying to poison her, because you will deal with the consequences if you don't. You don't have to do that with Yemaya. Just bring her some fruit, some assorted fruits, and pray into it, and bring some gin or some rum and spray it into the water before you get into it. Give the offering, say give thanks and salutations, and get your ass in the water. And watch how the water responds to you. And get your ass cleaned off until you feel 100% better. Even if you got to go down there 2-3 days back to back just to make just because you feel good, but it still ain't there yet. That means that you still got to get it done some more until you feel 100% back to yourself again. Then you're going to see the manipulation. Then you're going to see how you've been played. Then you're going to see how you've been used. Then you're going to see how your own weaknesses and your own traumas was displayed to the world to see. Because I'm going to tell you something. All this shit really does, to me, the way I see it, when I see a person in their darkness, because there are people that I know that's in their darkness right now that I care about a great deal, I can't do a goddamn thing to help them because I was instructed not to. Because there are lessons that they have to learn, because they didn't catch the fact that they lack self-awareness in certain aspects, because they allowed their ego to get the best of them. I was told to fall back and let them individuals go through the shit they're going through. And they're still being talked to by false light, and they think that it's real. You can't tell them nothing. But yet they don't see the steps that they're taking is making them move backwards. They don't see that. They don't see that they're living a life in a state of confusion. They don't see how they're saying one thing and then turn around and saying something different. They don't see any of that shit. They don't see it. To them, that's where they're supposed to be at. Because you cannot go against anyone's free will, you have to allow that person to take that lesson. I'm not going to say loss no more. When I say L, when I say you got to take that L, I'm talking about you got to take that lesson, baby. I don't like to say loss. I like to say lesson. It has more of a positive tone to it, because if you learn the lesson, then that's a gain for you. So when you hear me say you're going to have to take that L, what I'm really saying is you want to take that lesson. Because it's definitely a lesson that a lot of you are learning right now that you don't even realize you're learning right now. Get your ancestor altar set up if you don't have one. And for those of you who don't know anything about your ancestors, this is very simple. So I'm calling on the benevolent ancestors of both the paternal and maternal side of my bloodline, of both my mother and father's side, those who have my highest and greatest good. That's all you need to say. That way the wrong ones don't show up. Then they'll start coming to you in dreams so you can get to know more who they are. Just because you don't have nothing physically around with you does not mean you cannot connect to your ancestors, guys. Do not classify the fact that your relatives isn't telling you shit about your family members as an excuse for you not to communicate to them. They are not under the laws of paperwork, fam. They're not under the laws of a birth certificate. They're not under the laws of genealogy records. So you can go ahead and just say exactly what I just said, and you'll start to feel the tinglies and the hair standing up on the back of your neck. Light them a candle, give them a glass of water, get some beautiful flowers, get a white tablecloth. This is a basic way to set up your ancestral altar. And give them something to eat once a week. When you're cooking some food, give them some food. Give them a little sauce or plate of food so they can eat it. Let it sit out for about 2 days, clean the altar off, and go about your damn business. You give your offerings there, cigar, tobacco. If they like weed, give them some weed too, because they'll smoke that shit. And I can't make this shit up. They literally will take that weed and smoke it. Okay? Give them some liquor. Give them some wine. Give them some candlelight. If you have pictures of your relatives, put them on the damn on the altar. They can replay back this live. When somebody says, oh, I need to learn how to set up my altar, y'all send them to this live right here called Spiritual Warfare. Because I'm also giving you solutions on how to handle this type of shit. You need to tell your ancestors, look, I'm in some kind of spiritual warfare. If I have any ancestors that's good at spiritual warfare, I'm going to need y'all to step up right now because I'm in trouble. And I don't know what to do. And I know you're my first line of defense. I need help. I need y'all to surround me with your protection. Pray to the Most High, both mother and father. Pray to their son, Olofin. You can do that. You are going to get a response. Why? Because now you're remembering who you are and where you came from. There ain't never being on this earth that does not acknowledge mother and father, except for those that have an agenda to stamp out the divine feminine energy, which that's not happening no more. And she's going to see to it that that doesn't happen no more. Y'all going to hear about Big Mama real soon. Let me help you with this. It's funny how they put shit in the movies, right? For those of you that saw Thor's Love and Thunder, there was another part to this movie. I don't know if you even paid attention to it or not. It might have went over your head. But at the very close to the very end of the movie, for those of you who've seen it, do you guys remember the being that guy was sitting in front of that looked like an entire universe? He was just sitting there, and there was a being that was sitting there, just sitting there, didn't say a word. They put the shit out there on Front Street. It's so amazing to me how they put it out there. This being, you can see solar systems in this being, the suns and all types of shit and planets and stars in this being. And he was just sitting there. That, my ladies and gentlemen, was the Most High. And that is exactly what the Most High looks like. The Most High has many different forms. And when he or she decides that they're going to communicate to you, they will come in any form that they desire. That's actually in the scriptures, believe it or not. The Most High can come as a regular old man and you would never know. You would never know that was happening. Or woman, for that matter. Just to test your character. But in their truest form. Okay, let me make sure you're clear about the proper order of things. I may have said it because I was confused a little bit when I was talking the other day in the live, but let me go ahead and just say this. The proper order of things is mother, then father, then son, Holy Trinity. That is it. Mother and father is one God. The son is the second God. Then the rest come after that. Okay, so source, mother, father, then son. Okay. Now, when you see these beings, they look like an entire, like, mother and father. Let me put it to you like this. Mother is an omniverse. That's how massive she is. And the way it's explained to me is that the omniverse isn't even the correct term to even describe the vastness of mother, because there's no term in the English language to describe it. So the only thing that they could come up with was the omniverse. So she is a living omniverse, a living entity. Same with Father. I told you about Father a while back in his 999 galaxy self. When you see these beings, they are beyond your imagination of what you can even conceive. When they smile and you see them in your first eye, you're just going to see a smiley face of stars, but they look like an entire universe or universes. Okay? Entities that are just universes, that's what they look like. So you were never told this information before about how they look. I'm putting you up on game on it so you're clear. Let me go ahead and put you up on game some more. You actually live inside of Father. Let that sink in. That's why we always say that he's everywhere and nowhere all at the same time. This is deeper than omnipresence. You're in the Father right now. Do y'all understand what I just said? You are inside of Father and Mother right now. You're inside of Father and Mother right now. You are inside of Father and Mother right now. So whatever you're on, miss me. Whatever issues you got, take it there. I'm just here to be the messenger to spread, to put the information out there because that's what I was instructed to do, and I'm doing it. I don't care if you agree with me, you don't agree with me. It makes no difference to me whatsoever. I am not here to convince none of y'all. I'm telling you what is. You can accept it or not accept it, but it is what it is. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what we're all striving to become. We're all striving to return back to source. And source has its experiences by living vicariously through us, because you two are also a part of the whole, which is source. This is the reason why I tell you guys you can speak to source at will, because you are source. This is why I say to you there's no such thing as separation, because how can there be separation from source? Source doesn't separate from itself. Source is source. Source is everything. Source is what is the all. There's no separation in that. That's an illusion that all of you guys are living in right now. There ain't no separation. Only in your mind. Only in your mind. That separation only exists in your mind. You are placed here on Kai to learn the lessons of your karma. How many of you are learning the lessons of your karma? How many of you are living in your karma? Get your foundation down first. Get your grounded game down first, because they created all this shit. The malevolent and the positive, all that shit is being created by the Most High. Period. So depending on your perception and how you're seeing things, like you saw how I said an L is nothing more than a lesson instead of a loss. It's about the perception of how you're seeing things. Now you say, well, I wasn't aware of this, that, and the third, so I guess that's a lesson I needed to learn. Nobody in the space of the work that I do on my channels, YouTube, what have you, I want to make sure all of you are clear, Instagram included. Nobody's better than everybody else. Okay? Remember, unity consciousness. Nobody's better than anybody else. No one's higher than anybody else. Okay? If your desire is to create a healing space, you just better make sure that in the process of you conducting yourself in this way, you stay away from judgment of people. You stay away from trying to find negative things about people, because then your intention is going to show that you're not real. And your intention is going to show that you're not trying to heal. Because if anybody that knows me knows what I do, I create an environment for healing. That means that any given time, any one of us could fall short. What are we supposed to do as a team? We're supposed to check each other and say, hey, look, I get it. You're going through your lessons right now. There's no judgment here, as long as you're trying to make the moves to improve and do better and own up to your shit. What I have a problem with is when a person chooses to duck and hide like a coward and not own up to their shit, not own up to the shit they do. I have a problem with you, a major problem with you. Remember what I said. All the warfare does is bring more of who you really are out. It's going to bring all that insecurity, all that jealousy, all that hate that's in your fucking soul, all that shit, all of them damn flaws is going to come out your ass when you are influenced by dark energy. And the sad part about it is you think that nobody can see you, and everybody sees you with wide the fuck eyes open. You're only deceiving yourself with that bullshit. You ain't deceiving nobody in my camp. You ain't deceiving nobody out here that I know that's on the level, that understands that humans make mistakes. You ain't fooling nobody that's wise enough to see and study a person's actions. That's how you're able to discern, ladies and gentlemen. What messages is the person giving out? You don't see me out here promoting division. I don't promote division. I will come real with you, though. I will speak the truth. Sometimes people don't like that. Sometimes people say, oh, that's just, no, that's not causing division. See, if you don't deal with the elephant in the room, don't expect anybody else to deal with it. And you can't heal unless you address that fat motherfucker. Just because you don't feel like dealing with that elephant doesn't mean that that person is trying to cause division. No, what the person is doing is they're bringing to you to light what you should have already peaked, or you peaked, but you don't want to deal with it. And so therefore you want to deflect and blame everybody else for your bullshit and point the finger at everybody else and look at everybody else and accuse everybody else of this and focus on the person and it's talk crazy about the person. And every time you do that, that energy is going to keep generating within you, and you're just going to explode one day because the other person is doing just fine without you. They ain't got no beef, no nothing. They ain't got no malice in their heart towards you or nothing. They just sitting back in the cut watching you make a damn fool of yourself until you come back around to your damn senses. When you are spiritually intelligent and you see your people going through some shit, you don't throw them away. They'll throw themselves away, but you don't throw them away. You wait for them to come out of their shit because they'll come out of it and things will be revealed to them and they'll find out the truth about what it really is. And they're going to find out how deceived they were. They'll eventually come out of it, but not before learning certain key lessons about their character flaws. That first has to be dealt with first. Once you basically what I'm saying is that once you get your ass beat, once you get your ass beat a couple times, and I mean the universal ass whipping. Y'all know what I'm talking about. For those who've been through that, the universal ass whipping. This is the ass whipping where not only your family, well, your family will stop fucking with you. Your friends will stop fucking with you, except for the negative ones who want you, who's on the negative shit like you are. They'll be there to suck up all the rest of your energy. But nobody of any real light is going to fuck with you like that. Because remember what I told you, you attract what you are. You attract what you are. So if your frequency is low, then you're going to start going back to them low vibrational motherfuckers you've been and got rid of. You're going to find yourself running around back them same circles again. You know what I'm saying? Telling your fucking story to anybody that'll fucking listen. Because you can't address the person who you got the real issue with because you're a coward. You ducking and dodging. You don't want to face nobody. You don't want to give nobody. You don't want nobody to look at you because you know they can see through you, and they see what's going on with you. You don't want to deal with that, so you want to duck and hide and dodge and blame everybody else for this and accuse this person of this and accuse this person of that. Meanwhile, you moving real shady, real shady, real shady, and you think nobody sees you. Oh, we see you. We see you. We're not judging you. We're just waiting for you to get your shit together. The way you're going right now, it could be a whole year, 2 years from now before you come up out your shit. To keep yourself clear, I'm going to say this again. You should be doing your spiritual baths at least twice a week to keep yourself clear from the warfare. Now, some shit can be very heavy with that warfare to the point to where you are going to have to go see a priest so that priest can do a different type of cleansing on you that will get those forces off your head. But in the meantime, keep your cloaks and your shields up. Fortify your shields, program your cloaks. I exposed this. Some of y'all are new here. You don't know. Have a conversation with those who's been on the channel that know what time it is when I train them on this shit. Don't be running around here not doing your spiritual baths. If you had an argument with your wife last night and shit didn't hit the fan, why aren't you doing a spiritual bath the next day? Why aren't you smoking your house out of the negative energies that's in your house? Why aren't you getting no frankincense and myrrh or some damn dragon's blood and smoking them energies up out your house? Why didn't you do that? Hell, you can give yourself a smoke bath. Get a white sheet, take a shower first. Let me just get this out the way. Take a shower first, sit on a chair, get some coals, something that's going to hold the coal, get some frankincense and myrrh, light that coal up, and smoke your shit up out your ass. Sit your ass outside on the balcony. Take the sheet, wrap it around your body and the chair. Make sure the smoke is coming up under the chair so it's only affecting you. And do a smoke bath. You can do that. With all different types of herbs to cleanse you off. You should be fumigating your damn house out with frankincense and myrrh and dragon's blood and other herbs and shit like that. When the energies get weird in the damn house, you should be smoking the shit out your damn house. It's to the point now where you can't even come to my house. You can't come here. My shit is too heavily protected and too buried up. You ain't gonna make it. If your energy ain't right, you ain't gonna make it. It ain't. It's not. It's just not gonna. You ain't even gonna be able to enter onto the process. It's just set up that way. You ain't even gonna come on. You don't even know why you sitting outside not wanting to come in. You don't even know why. Because the protection around here ain't gonna let it happen if the spirit ain't right. You ain't coming in here. My protection will send you the fuck away from me if you're not for my best interest in a heartbeat. You just exit yourself right out of it. There won't even be an explanation. I've already seen this happen with people, y'all. Well, they just exit themselves out the situation. I'd be like, well, damn, what the fuck happened? Well, they were told some negative shit by some negative being that they didn't know was negative. Their influence, they got dark energy on them. My protection says, you can't fuck with this person. I don't know that that's what's going on because I'm being the person I am. I recognize the person for what I am. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to try to help the person. My protection says, nope, get rid of them. They got to go. And then my protection steps in and sends them on their fucking way. They don't even know that my protection sent them on their way. They think they did it on their own recog. No, that's not what happened. Your ass got kicked the fuck out. You got removed. And here you thought you was doing it on your own recog. Nah, you didn't do this on your own recog, baby. That's not what happened. My protection stepped in and said, your ass got to go. Because now you're beyond the point of learning something. You're beyond the point of correction. Self-correction. You're beyond the point of self-correction. So if you become beyond the point of self-correction, then the good people that you had in your life will be removed out of your life because their protection is going to send you on your way. I need to get some clarity about that. For those of you who've done that to people, don't think for a second that you hurt that person. You didn't hurt that person. That person's protection stepped in and sent you the fuck on. Because your inability to be able to discern. You should have been able to discern. You should have had self-awareness. Meanwhile, you're trying to figure out, why does it seem like this person is doing very well for themselves after you left? And you don't realize because their protection pushed you out. You thought you was hurting the person and you didn't do shit. You got played again by your own ego and your own inability to be able to see. You were removed. So people, don't feel bad when somebody just gets up and walks out of your life. Your protection didn't want them there. And even though you see that person has a good heart and this, that, and the third, here's the thing about people. It's funny. You don't really know a person until you see them being challenged in that way. Then that's when you get a chance to see what's really good with a person. What's really good. Not the fucking facade that you're showing everybody else. That you thought that nobody saw. Showing your face or showing your hand to the person that you're looking up to. But then deep down inside or behind closed doors, you're doing devious, nefarious shit, or you're having jealousy thoughts or whatever the fuck is going on with you at the time that you're not letting, that you're not coming forth about, that you're not telling anybody about, right? So then that person's protection is going to recognize that within you and say, that person's got to go. They're being infiltrated by dark energy too much, and I don't want that shit fucking you up. They got to go. They're beyond self-correction now. They cannot be corrected by anybody else outside of them. They have to go through this on their own. So in the meantime, you must fade to black. Do not talk to this person. Do not reach out to this person. Don't do shit. Mind your business. You stay focused on the hand of the things that you got to focus on. Mind your business. Now I got to mind my damn business. And can't do a lick of helping. No cleanings, no nothing. Because that's going to bring me karma. It'll bring you karma when you interfere in a person's free will. Remember that. Somewhere within them, and I want to make sure you guys are clear. Magic has the ability to influence, yes. But they only can influence if that's who you really are at the fucking core. Make sure you're clear about this, ladies and gentlemen. In other words, what I'm saying is that nobody will be able to utilize the excuse that the magic made me do it. You're not going to be able to utilize that excuse because, see, you already had malice in your heart to begin with. You already had insecurity in your heart to begin with. You already were jealous to begin with. You already had certain things about you in your character that you had not worked on. That was already in you already. All the magic did was go in, find those weaknesses, and then exasperate them and brought them to the forefront for everybody to see and embarrass you in the process. Because that's the lesson you got to learn. Now you're running around out here looking crazy than a motherfucker right now. And you don't realize how crazy you look, but you look crazy as fuck. But we all love you. We all love you dearly. But we got to take a step back and protect ourselves and let shit play itself out. That's how this goes. That warfare will come in and affect your family members. If your family members have been acting out of whack, you're being tested, especially if they're coming at you sideways and you know you ain't did shit. You know what your intent is. You know what your heart is. You know you ain't did shit, and you really know you ain't did shit. You start to see that coming for you, that's spiritual warfare. That is something outside of you right now that is doing some things. It could be a person sending out negative energy on a family member or family members. That can happen. Or depending on the level that you're operating on in your spirituality, it could be fallen angels coming in and testing your shit. It could be demons coming in and testing your shit. Because we're all under judgment. I told you this before. Since we're under judgment, the Most High said, do what thou will and test. And let's see where their character really is. Your shadow is being judged. I'm going to say this again. Your shadow is being judged. You got to come to a place of acceptance. Because the warfare that I'm seeing taking place on people right now, it's just to expose the fact that they're unhealed. So now I want you guys to take a step back, and I want you guys to think about some things. I want you to observe people. I really want you to take the time out, and I want you to observe the people. Observe you. Observe yourself and your interactions with this person. Observe how you're feeling on the inside. Observe if you're having these weird ass damn emotions and feelings and shit about a person, then you need to go inward and you need to get to that shadow to find out why you're feeling the way that you're feeling, because that person outside of you isn't doing anything to you. It's perceived to be that way, that that person's doing something to you, but they're not doing a damn thing to you. And let me also go ahead and school you about something else. For those of you who love to go get readings and you're under this dark energy and you got an entity that's actually disturbing you, let me explain to you how this shit works. You think that by going outside and getting a reading by somebody else, they're going to be able to tell you something different? Oh, no, 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 baby. That's not how that works. Because what you don't know is that that same being who does not want you to know what's happening, they're going to influence the readings. So you thought you got some clarity on some shit, but you're still getting played. You're still getting played. The only ones that you're not going to get played by is the Most High, both mother and father. Do you have enough humility to submit to that? Do you have enough humility to go to mother and father and say, I'm in trouble. I don't know what's going on, but I'm in trouble. I don't feel like myself and I don't know why. And shit is just all weird for me right now. Do you have enough humility to do that? Do you have enough humility? Do you have enough trust in the Most High that they're going to see to it that you're going to get the help that you need, and they may send somebody to you to help you. But do you have the trust? Do you have the ability to be able to discern the help when it comes to you? Imagine being in a situation where you're being deceived and you run to outside forces and you're still being deceived. And you think that what that person's telling you is the truth, but that person don't even realize that their shit is being fucked with because they don't even know what the fuck is going on. Some of the most skilled people I've seen in readings have been deceived. Number one, the issue comes into play when you're going outside of yourself. That's the lesson that you didn't learn to get your answers. What I mean by that, you went to go see a psychic reader, didn't you? You went outside yourself to get the answers. Because I told you that mother and father is a part of you. Wouldn't it make sense to go to your mother and father? If you have a Orisha, wouldn't it make sense to go to your Orisha? If you have ancestors, wouldn't it make sense to go to your ancestors? They all are a part of you. That's you basically going to you to get the answers that you need. Not a fucking psychic reader outside of yourself to get the answers. Because then you didn't learn your lesson. And that's the realm that he plays in, is when you go outside of yourself to get your answers. He plays in that realm heavily. Oh, he's going here to get a reading from this person. Okay, cool. Now let me go ahead and deceive those readings. It's a whole different ball game when you deal with entities on this level. I want you guys to take heed to what I'm saying. Find some humility within you if you have it. Get yourselves cleaned off. Get yourself back to being recentered. Don't worry about the judgment from others because we're not perfect. Put yourself in a healing space and come to a place of acceptance of not only others, but also yourself and the mistakes that you've made. Because once you can accept yourself for the mistakes that you've made, it'll be very easy for you to accept others for the mistakes that they've made. But never come off to someone like you're so much better or so much self-righteous and so much uppity than the other person. Because life has a way of humbling you and showing you that you are not what you think that you are. Or at least the way you're going about it needs to be corrected. The way you're going about it needs to be corrected. If you got a team of people you fuck with, there is no such thing as I and fucking team. You're not going to be the person with all the fucking answers. So that concludes my live for today. I appreciate you guys for taking the time to listen to me. I hope this was a lesson for you guys to sit back and learn about. There is going to be more to this series that I'm going to bring out later. But we're going to start off on everybody getting their shit together. Let's start there. Let's start you getting grounded. Let's start you getting you back to your family. Let's start you getting back to being recentered again. Let's start with you taking care of yourself better on a spiritual level. Let's start with you working on your self-awareness and you paying attention and you learning to be more present than you have been. That's the only reason why you miss things, is because you're not present. Let's get yourselves back to being present again. Because if you were present, you would know something was wrong. And if you know something is wrong, then that's when you need to go make the necessary corrections for yourself. And if you're not willing to do that, you need to find out why you're giving yourself so much resistance. What is that energy that's blocking you from getting yourself cleaned off? What is that really about? If you don't take care of yourself, don't expect anybody else to take care of you. Because you show people how to treat you based on how you treat yourself. On that note, take care. God bless everyone. Peace.